The rise and fall of online used car dealers is happening right before our eyes. This video is kind of preempted by the fact that Carvana's dealer license was suspended in yet another state. However, Dad,
yes,
I want to run you through some numbers before we dive into the news, okay?
Please do.
Shift Technologies.
Yes.
Their stock over the past year is down 91%.
Hey, you want to know the good news? The good news is you find 60 cents in your pocket, you can buy yourself a share. Okay.
So Shift Technologies had previously been more of a regional player in the online used car dealer world. They had previously been trading at $7.58 a share, Dad. Their stock price down 91%. Incredible. Now, Carvana, Dad, one-upped Shift. Carvana is the big household name, kind of second only to CarMax in terms of the used car, online used car dealer.
And volume.
Their stock is down 94% in the past year.
Oh my God.
And we're going to talk more here in a second about Carvana and the issues they face.
Now, wait
Michigan.
a second. Wait. I just want to see. Their 52-week high was $309.50. And today, it's trading at $17.53. And it has a market cap of $3.31 billion. And they've had one profitable quarter in their history.
Now, Vroom,
yes,
the rise and fall pops, Vroom, their stock down 94, almost 95% in the past year, trading well below where it had been. Cazoo, you may not have heard of Cazoo, Dad, but Cazoo is like the Carvana of Europe. Their stock down 94% as well. And the kind of the balancing act out of the group, CarMax. We've done many videos about CarMax's most recent earnings and kind of the red flags that they're waving. Their stock only down 51% over the past year. But the reason we're making this video is we've documented the challenges that Carvana has faced back on the YAA website. There are multiple lawsuits, whether it be, well, and also if you throw Vroom into the mix, there are lawsuits from states attorneys general.
Yes.
We have a lawsuit against Vroom from the Texas State AG.
Yes.
When it comes to Carvana, you have class action suits in the state of Pennsylvania. You have actions in North Carolina, Illinois, Florida, and now Michigan.
Yes.
And you've got threats of actions in other states as well. The most recent news, Dad, out of Michigan, what happened there?
Well, they had been on probation in Michigan for not providing the consumers who bought cars with their titles and registrations within the required time that Michigan calls for. You have to file that paperwork within 15 days. And in a number of cases, they had not done that. So they had agreed to a probation so that they said, hey, we'll do better. We're gonna do it right. Well, lo and behold, even after they entered that probationary phase, there have been another 127 instances where they have not been able to produce that paperwork that's required for the state for titling and registration within the 15-day guidelines. Plus, there's been some other issues with destroying some paperwork and not having
odometer readings not being correct,
things of that nature.
Improper issuing of registrations.
So the state decided to suspend Carvana's license to do business in Michigan.
And now it's becoming, it is a theme at this point. I mean,
absolutely.
We had earlier this year, Dad, in Illinois. If you were an Illinois customer, we made a video about this. If you were an Illinois customer and you went to Carvana's website, they had a thing come up and essentially beg you to like send action to your state's attorney general, or like they were begging you to help them essentially get off the naughty list. This model, go ahead.
Well, their theory is, 98% of the time they're doing their job correctly and they're being punished by these states who were utilizing what Carvana calls antiquated titling and licensing rules because of their failure in 2% of the cases. Well, the sad reality is that the dealerships that reside in those states don't seem to have an issue. It's just like this digital retailer, Carvana, that keeps running into the same issue over and over and over in multiple states. So you're thinking about selling your car. Go to joinyaa.com/sell and just enter the information once and get all the offers in one place. It's just that simple.
Let's pull up from the Vroom lawsuit out of the state of Texas. The lawsuit alleges the following: misrepresenting the condition and characteristics of vehicles, misrepresenting financing approvals, failing to obtain clear titles before selling, spot delivery scams, failing to disclose systemic delays in processing of titles and registrations, and failing to disclose higher insurance premium requirements for some customers. This is for Vroom. Dad, you don't have to look too far to see the breakdowns in this model. CarMax has been able to build a, generally speaking, viable, healthy business. If you've bought a car from Carvana and Vroom and Shift and Cazoo and whatever else out there, good for you if you made it out on the other end okay. This model doesn't seem like it's going to last into the future.
Well, it works for CarMax because they're brick and mortar stores. Okay, it's not a digital platform per se, where you go in and you buy the car digitally online.
Sight unseen.
Sight unseen. You look at their pictures, and then the retailer delivers the car to you. CarMax, you have to show up at one of their facilities in order to buy a car. Carvana has facilities in some areas, but
vending machines.
But you don't have to go there in order to buy the car. They'll just send it to you. So this digital retail platform, which seemed like a good idea at the time, is proving itself to be anything but.
We have Carvana and Vroom earnings early November. Please tune in when we do a video for that, because I do think we will be on the cusp of either those companies getting bought, sold and bought.
Yes. Or them just disappearing altogether.
Which is a scary reality, because if you think about Vroom had a Super Bowl ad last year, Carvana's made a household name. Like, those brands probably won't die entirely, like they'll stay around, but this model has proven to be way more challenging than I think most anticipated for some of the simplest things. Titles of vehicles.
Yes.
And inspecting vehicles before you sell them.
How about inspecting vehicles before you buy them?
Wow.
We can cite a perfect example. When you had a car,
sold it to Carvana.
You sold it to Carvana. You plug the information into their wizardry app on their
which don't use that. Use ours instead.
Yes. And they told you what the value of the car was. You took it to their location. Somebody came out and did a cursory walk around the car. You handed them your keys, the payoff check that you needed to give them. They don't inspect the cars before they buy them. They overpay for them, okay? And they're not 100% sure what they're buying quality-wise. And many times they don't necessarily fix them to the degree that they should be before they go ahead and try and sell them. So the concept of paying too much for vehicles that you haven't inspected and then selling vehicles that you don't have titles for, that's not a business model that's built on a successful platform.
Now, fun little nugget just at the end here. Ernie Garcia, I guess it's the second, Ernie Garcia the second, the father of Carvana's CEO, Ernie Garcia the third, just so happens to be someone who has been, I don't think had jail time for the work that he had done back in Arizona in the 90s, but he was criminally charged for some of the work that he had done pre-Ugly Duckling, which became Drive Time, which became Carvana. He was caught up in, keep me honest here, I think it had to do with lending.
And wasn't it the savings and loan scandal?
Yeah, there was some scandal that he was a part of.
Hey, but that doesn't mean you can't become a billionaire.
Who wants to be a billionaire?
Yeah, you just apparently need a criminal background.
Rise and fall of these online car dealers. We seem to think so. If you can still sell them a car, if the strength of offer is still there, as it's called in the industry, do it. We have obviously the Sell Your Car widget back on the website, so take a peek at that. But thought this news was so fascinating from Michigan. And then when you start to look at the stock prices, it's a slippery slope for these companies.
Wonder how much longer they'll all be there.